I've seen a lot of people rush into the cheapest Rackmount NAS they can find, only to end up wrestling with a slow, unresponsive box that can't keep up with a growing backup schedule or a small office's file-sharing needs. The regret comes after the fact when the device chokes on a few concurrent users, when the RAID rebuild takes an eternity, or when you discover the unit won't even fit into your 19-inch rack the way the spec sheet promised. So the question I keep hearing is there a smarter buy that actually lives up to the hype without draining the budget? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I'm talking about the Synology RackStation RS1221 Plus, a Rackmount NAS that lands in a sweet spot between entry-level box-type units and the pricey enterprise appliances you'd see in a data center. It's built around a Ryzen V1500B quad-core processor, comes stocked with 32 gigabytes of ECC memory, and can be populated with up to 80 terabytes of storage. The numbers look impressive, but the real test is how it behaves when you actually set it up, move daily work onto it, and start relying on it for real backups. First off, the unboxing experience is a mix of anticipation and a little extra work. Synology ships the chassis sealed, which is great for protection, but you'll notice that the hard drives and the RAM are not pre-installed. That means you have to open the unit, slot in your own SATA drives and the DDR4 SODIMM sticks. For a seasoned IT admin, that's a routine task. Just pop the drives into the trays, screw them in, and slide them into the bays. For a small business owner or a home lab hobbyist who isn't comfortable handling hardware, it adds a modest learning curve. The rail kit is included, so you can mount it directly into a standard 19-inch rack without hunting down a separate bracket. When you fire it up for the first time, Synology's Disk Station Manager, DSM, steps in like a friendly guide. The web-based interface walks you through creating a storage pool, setting up RAID. Synology defaults to SHR, which is a more flexible version of RAID 5, and provisioning shared folders. I was impressed by how quickly the OS detected the newly installed drives and built the volume under 10 minutes for a full 80 terabytes array, assuming you have the disks in place. That's a far cry from older models where you could spend an hour or more just getting the array online. In daily use, the RS1221 Plus feels like a reliable workhorse for a small to mid-size office. My test scenario involved a design studio of 8 people, each needing to access large Photoshop files and occasionally export 4K video renders to the shared storage. With the 4 1GB ports, you can set up link aggregation, which effectively doubles the bandwidth and smooths out the traffic when multiple users are pulling large files at the same time. The Ryzen processor, while not a high-end server chip, is more than capable of handling the simultaneous SMB file sharing, automated backups, and a modest virtual machine running a lightweight surveillance feed. I ran a scheduled hyper backup job to an offsite S3 bucket while a user was rendering a video. No hiccups, no noticeable slowdowns. Now, let's talk about where the value really shines. The ECC memory is a subtle but meaningful advantage. In environments where data integrity is paramount, think financial spreadsheets, source code repositories, or raw footage, the extra error checking prevents corrupted data from silently propagating. It's a feature you rarely see on consumer-grade NAS units, and it costs almost nothing extra in the grand scheme of a rack-mount server. On the other side of the coin, there are practical drawbacks that can be easy to overlook if you only focus on the headline specs. The base network speed tops out at 1 GB per port. For many small businesses, that bandwidth is fine, but if you're planning to serve multiple 4K streams or run heavy virtualization workloads, you'll quickly feel the ceiling. Upgrading to a 10 GB NIC is possible, but that's an extra purchase and a bit of a configuration hurdle. Also, the device does not come with any pre-installed drives, so the upfront cost can appear higher than an all-in-one NAS that bundles disks. If you're buying on a tight budget, you'll need to factor in the price of 8-10 terabyte SATA drives plus the memory, which pushes the total well above the $2,000 mark. Who should definitely consider the RS1221 Plus? Small to mid-size firms that need a centralized file server, backup target, and perhaps a light virtualization platform, but don't have the cash to rent a colocation rack. It's also a good fit for power users who maintain a home lab for learning about virtualization, containerization, or media serving. If you already have a rack, a UPS, and some spare drives lying around, the total cost of ownership becomes very attractive. The combination of a proven OS, a capable processor, and ECC memory means you get enterprise-grade reliability without the enterprise price tag. Who should walk away? If you're a solo creator who only needs a couple of terabytes for personal